Okay, good morning everyone. In this class, I explain about the role of salivary glands in saliva in digestion. In my previous class, I explained about the teeth, types of teeth and their function. What about what is mechanical digestion? What is the advantage of mechanical digestion with the help of teeth in the oral cavity? Now, in this video, I explain about the salivary glands, which are also present. Already I told you, in the oral cavity, we have mainly three types of structures: tongue, teeth, and salivary glands. Already I explained about teeth. Now, salivary glands. Now, salivary glands are salivary glands. There are three pairs of salivary glands are present. Okay, three pairs. One is sublingual glands. Next, submandibular glands and parotid glands. Parotid glands. Each one pair. Each one. Sublingual and submandibular glands are present at the floor of the tongue, just below the tongue. First two types of glands are present. One pair. Okay, one on each side. Next, parotid glands are present near the ears at the joints of jaw. Okay, parotid glands, and from there ducts, tube-like structures open into the oral cavity. These three of them combinedly secretes a material called saliva. This saliva consists of water, mucus, which is a slippery substance, and enzymes. Water, mucus, and enzymes. Here, two types of enzymes are present. One is lysozyme. Another one is thiamine, which is also called as salivary amylase. This lysosome function is it kills the microorganisms which are entering into our body through food. Okay, lysozyme function is killing of microorganisms. Next, thiamine acts upon starch, complex carbohydrate, and convert this starch into like disaccharides like dextrose sugar. Converts it into dextrose sugar. And the saliva is basically the pH of saliva is alkaline. It is alkaline in nature. And because of the presence of mucus, it is slippery. Okay. And when we are chewing food, grinding food with the help of teeth, and the tongue, the saliva mixed with the food, and it makes the food very soft and slippery, and it helps in gathering all the food particles at one place, and we are able to push the food particles as a whole material between the teeth, right and left side. If there is no saliva, all the particles are at different place, we cannot push at a time. But because of mixing with saliva, because of its mucus slippery nature, entire food particles will come at one place, and we are able to push with the help of tongue in between the teeth. Okay. Like this, saliva helps by killing microorganisms and by converting complex carbohydrate that starch into dextrose. Now, we have an experiment that whether saliva acts upon starch and converts into dextrose or not. For that, we have an experiment that is action of saliva on floor atta pindi, godu pindi, otherwise, which we call it as starch, complex carbohydrate. of saliva on floor. Okay. Take flour, either it is wheat flour or rice flour. Okay. Take 2 beakers. Simple. Take 2 beakers. They will give their test tubes. Okay. There is nothing much difference here. Take test tube or beakers. Test tube or beakers, and pour some water in it. Pour some water in it. And next, prepare starch solution. How? By taking some 5 to 10 grams of starch. Okay, dissolve in 10 ml of water. 5 to 10 grams of starch. Now it will not dissolve because starch is insoluble. Mix it very perfectly, and 5 ml of that solution into this. 5 ml of that solution into second beaker. Beaker A and beaker B. Into A 5 ml of starch solution, into B 5 ml of starch solution you add. Later to the A add spoonful of saliva. Spoonful of saliva. And mix it very well. Collect the saliva from the mouth into a spoon and add into a beaker and mix very well. And keep it aside for 1 to 2 hours. After that, add iodine solution to 2 beakers. Usually, when you add iodine to starch, it will give blackish blue color. Iodine in previous experiment, photosynthesis starch experiment. We discussed that. You add iodine drops to both the beakers. The beaker B, in the beaker B, whatever the solution is present, that will change into bluish black color or blue color. Because starch is present, we added the starch here. That already starch is present, that is why it is. Here also we added starch, but apart from starch, we also added spoonful of saliva. Okay. Now, if you add iodine to this, there is no change in color. There is no change in color. This indicates what? This indicates this indicates about 1 minute. No. Okay. This indicates about saliva, the enzyme present in saliva. The enzyme present in saliva, that is salivary amylase, acted upon starch and convert the starch into dextrose sugar, simple form, somewhat simple form, not completely to glucose to dextrose. Okay, with this we can say that saliva, the enzyme present in the saliva, which is called as ptyalin or salivary amylase. Okay, while the process of mastication, when food is mixed with the saliva, the salivary amylase enzyme acts upon starch material, convert into dextrose sugar. It converts it into dextrose sugar. Okay, that is why only the starch solution which is present in the beaker A, will not turn into bluish black color because we added saliva to this. Salivary amylase enzyme acted upon this starch and converted it into dextrose sugar. Iodine can give bluish black color only with the starch. In the second beaker, only starch solution is present. Starch is not changed into any other material or any other simple carbohydrate. That is why it is changed into bluish black color. With this, we can prove that saliva acts upon saliva in the sense the enzyme salivary amylase acts upon starch during mastication and convert it into simple somewhat not completely simple carbohydrate called dextrose sugars. This is about action of saliva on food. Now the food is thoroughly masticated. The food is thoroughly masticated. By the time of completion of mastication, the food becomes soft and it becomes soft and slippery. Okay. It becomes soft and slippery and forms a roundy structure called bolus. Roundy structure called bolus. Food changes into a roundy structure called bolus. Now this food bolus, with the help of tongue, we are able to swallow. When we swallow, that enters into our pharynx. Please remember, only swallowing of food, whether we have to swallow or not, is in our hands. That is voluntary. But once if you swallow the food, okay, you cannot bring it back. That becomes involuntary. When you swallow the food, immediately from the mouth it enters into pharynx. Okay, and from the pharynx, the food enters into a narrow tube called oesophagus. Oesophagus, or this is also called as food pipe. Esophagus or food pipe. Okay, now if you see this esophagus, esophagus is a narrow tube. Narrow means its diameter is very less. The wall of the esophagus is made of circular and longitudinal muscles. Circular and longitudinal. Circular muscles, these are circular muscles and these are longitudinal muscles. Okay, the wall is made of both circular and longitudinal muscles. When food enters into esophagus, the circular and longitudinal muscles contract and relax. Circular and longitudinal muscles contract and relax in a rhythmic manner that gives a wave-like appearance, which round downwards from upside to downside. This is called peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement. Usually these peristaltic movements are not seen along the length of the esophagus, whenever we are not eating food. But whenever you ingest the food into mouth and when you are chewing the food, the brain gives instruction to esophagus, get ready for the food. According to that, the longitudinal and radial muscle, circular muscles contracted. Suppose if you see, this is the food bolus, this is the esophagus wall. Here, when the longitudinal muscles contract, the diameter increases. Always just below the food bolus, longitudinal muscles contract and widens the tube, and above the food bolus, circular muscles contract. Contraction of circular muscles decrease the diameter. Above the bolus, circular muscles contract. Below the bolus, longitudinal muscles contract. Both of them contraction only. But contraction of longitudinal muscles longitudinal muscles increase the diameter. Contraction of the circular muscles decrease the diameter. Means upper side decrease the diameter, lower side increase the diameter. Thereby the foot slides down. And for the sliding also, for easy movement, easy sliding down of the foot, along the length of the esophagus, its inner wall is lined by mucous membrane, which is slippery in nature. Because of that, when circular muscles above the bolus contract, the diameter decreases and there is pressure on food bolus. At the same time, the contraction of longitudinal muscle results in widening of the tube. Automatically, the bolus slips down. Like this, these movements, peristaltic movements, wavy movements happen. With the help of the wavy peristaltic movements, the foot bolus slides down and finally enters into the stomach. It slides down and finally enters into the stomach. Now we have an experiment for this to observe how food bolus slides down along the length of the esophagus. For that you have to take used cycle tube. You have to take used cycle tube, and you have to select a medium-sized potato, and apply oil. Okay, an entire surface of the potato. Like that, you take 4 or 5 potatoes. Okay, and apply oil on the surface of each and every potato. And the potato diameter should be lesser than that of the tube. Then only we can insert. Okay, but it should not be very small. The potato, which it should not slide down very easily when you keep the potato inside the tube. Okay. Keep potato here, oil applied potato, and from upside with the help of your palm press it. It will slide down. Another one. Finally, if you observe, the cycle tube with potatoes appear like this. If you keep on pressing from upper side, the potato slide down in wavy manner. Okay, like in the same way, the food bolus slides down along the length of the esophagus. The movements which help in sliding down of food bolus, into the stomach along the length of the esophagus are called peristaltic movements. This is about salivary glands and the esophagus and peristaltic movements. In the next video, I will explain about the digestion process in stomach, how it takes place. Okay, thank you.